partner and I make $120,000 combined. Y'all, tell me why. Just why am I still living paycheck to paycheck?
You're stupid and lazy.
You know what? We're going to end it there. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree or disagree?
Why? My job pays like a decent amount of money, like very median, very average, but like I should be able to live on this. This is a good salary. Not anymore, bitch. Not anymore. Like I've started to dread going to the grocery store to buy tinfoil because off-brand, weak-ass tinfoil is like $10. I saw an 18-pack of eggs for $13. I walked in to the Walmart like a few days ago. I bought standard necessities, Ziploc bags, tinfoil, eggs, some fucking lentil pasta because I can't eat the real stuff and that has good protein in it. A singular pound of ground beef, milk, eggs, cheese. Tell me why I walked out of there having spent $70. 70. 70. My partner and I make $120,000 combined. $120,000. That's good. That should be okay. Like, we should be set. Took a lot of work and effort and resume building and all the good stuff to get here. Why are we both living paycheck to fucking paycheck? This is not sustainable. How are people gonna find a place to live? How are we supposed to continue to eat? Like, forget about me because we're still living. We're kind of making it. Like, it's not as horrible as it could be. But what about these young kids trying to start a life, trying to get out of their parents' house?
There you go. See what she did there? She did what she did there, and that's the end, right? So the problem is, she said, why are we still living paycheck to paycheck? She said that, right? And then she tried to link it with the food. If you're making a combined income of $120,000 and you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's because you're making bad decisions. Don't link it to food. Yes, the food is pricey, but there's a lot of bad decisions that you make. And I'm not saying that trying to fucking look at you and be like, hey, you know what? You should make a decision. I made bad decisions as well. We're in a spending habit where we spend. We talk about environment and we tweet that shit on a brand new iPhone that we bought, the second one that we bought today because we crashed the other one because we don't really take care of a shit. If you're making $120 a year and you're living paycheck to paycheck, and that means that you don't have a plan. You didn't establish a plan. Don't link it all to food. Yes, I believe that food is fucked up and some certain prices, there's some surges. But if you're doing a 120, you have to ask other questions than just the food. Don't blame it on food. Like Abba said, you can get a lot of shit on Amazon.
She's at 120, they live in paycheck to paycheck.
That sounds crazy. That's the thing that's crazy. The food thing is another thing altogether. It's another thing, and I get you. But don't link it. Do not link it to food. There's another problem. There's something else. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's something else. The food is one thing. But if you're saying you're living paycheck to paycheck, nah, B. Okay. There's some other underlying issues.
Okay. I sympathize with a lot. All right. Like I said, up until 2 years ago, your boy was struggling. All right. Making less than $35K a year. Doing self-employed work. It's good enough for me because I keep my costs low. But I understand. You go to the grocery store, you look at certain meats, you're like, not today. Not ever, bitch.
This motherfucker is efficient.
Okay.
This motherfucker can stretch out money.
I gotta look at y'all, I'm not gonna lie, and say, yes, times are hard, but are you doing anything to help yourself? Everything is a balance between the system and the individual. People who say, everything's systemic. No, bitch, some of it's individual choice, okay? And it's a mixture of those two things. Motherfuckers taking out $200K in student loans to go be a fucking...
A fucking nothing. A fucking nothing. How many people work in their field?
Zoologist, which... What is that? Bitch, I don't know. Neither do you. Ain't nobody gonna pay you. Stupid.
Fucking nothing. That's what it is.
We gotta make more sensible decisions.
Merci beaucoup.
If you are living paycheck to paycheck on 120K, I have to imagine there must be some crazy student debt.
I got questions.
There must be some, like, some people told me, like, I remember this, like, most Americans have their credit cards maxed out and are making minimum payments or something like crazy like that. I was like, what?
The minimum payment is the stupidest shit you could do on a credit card.
Absolutely.
Someone told me that poor people use credit card for the money they ain't got.
Yes.
Rich people use credit cards for their points.
That's all. My credit card is at zero every single month. And this is not now. This has always been my case.
And
I used to have one credit card, and I used to pay it every single month in full. And I think I couldn't pay it off. I would not touch it. Okay? I used my credit card because it was necessary for things. It wasn't so I could go buy fucking new shoes all the time. So all the times niggas look at it, yo, why you look so broken and dusty? It's because that's what I can afford. I'm not going to be out here pretending. Okay? Maybe I could have squeezed in some dollars over here and there to go to the thrift shop. But I'm just saying, I lived my means. Some of y'all want to pretend you're in a different stratosphere. Going to the club buying drinks when your ass can only afford sobriety. How you an alcoholic, bitch? You too poor. That's why you homeless, taking it up the butt to get drinks, okay? Let's be honest. Y'all doing shady shit to get these things because you can't afford it. Y'all are taking on addictions you should have never been partaking in to begin with. I'm too broke to be an addict. That's been my truth. That's my truth.
That ain't
Apple, you want to smoke weed? I can't afford to pay for this shit. Like, listen, bro, I got bills to pay. I can't afford it.
Because I got to be functioning to go to work, so I can't smoke weed.
I can't afford none of this stuff. And so I acknowledge it, and I lived accordingly. Doesn't mean I wasn't able to enjoy myself or find things that I couldn't invest my money in, but I try to make sure it works for me. When I hear 120K combined income, but we are living paycheck to, I don't care where you live. You can live in San Francisco. You are lying.
You're lying.
You are lying. Well, my rent is $7. Move a little further. There's no reason, even in San Francisco, you paying $7K. I don't care.
There's choices that you make, man. It's choices that you make,
bro.
And that's where that's where she got me. I understand the food thing, but that thing is not related. Listen, my man's right here. I gotta give the props. You gotta give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. This mother effer right here is efficient. With his money. He can stretch a whole dollar, a whole lot. It all comes down to what? Is he a magician? In some kinds of way, yeah, but not with the money. It's the choices.
Absolutely.
I look at Abba, the way Abba moves, and the way I've seen Abba move from the. And sometimes from time to time, I make fun of him because he's dusty. But for real, this motherfucker don't care. He don't care. His money in check. He's always good. This mother. It's not. It's really that. It's really that. You gotta give to Caesar what belongs to this Caesar. This guy. This is probably one of the smartest dude that I've seen with his money, outside of my mom. And my mom is smart with her money. But it all comes down to the fucking choices you made.
Yeah.
I gotta come down. Sometimes you gotta humble yourself,
bro.
You gotta humble yourself.
I was still traveling at the time. Understand? I was traveling twice a year. Well, how do you afford that with that small income? Guess what?
Choices.
I make choices. What do those choices look like? I go to cities where I got friends. Why? Because staying on the couch saves me $1,000. Easy. I try to fly on a weekday. Why? Because the tickets are half the price of the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of these things because when I hear people talk like this, they want to complain about the state of the world today, not acknowledging any of the responsibilities that they have for their financial situation whatsoever. And I'm sympathetic in some regards because I feel like financial literacy is something that people should be teaching us, be it our parents, be it the system itself, being education. Like that's something that they teach us about debt, what that actually like. My only lesson, and I say this on the channel all the time, that my mom taught me financially is she said, don't keep any debt. Do not be paying no interest. If you got debts, cool. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. And I live by that my whole life. I live by that. Now, that's not maybe the greatest business decision or whatever, but I use it for me as a person individually. That worked well for me. I never had to look at my savings and see zeros everywhere. Cost of living, rent, whatever. Even though rent is relatively cheap here, do you think I moved into a place by myself? Why? Why would I pay $2,000, $3,000 when I could be paying $500 a month and have a roommate or two? Like, you know, like, you make these choices based off the situation that you're in, and you try to live accordingly to bring down any of those costs. You got to go live home with your parents again. You do what you got to. But folks living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes I look at them like, why are you here at the club? Millennials are ordering out more than ever. They're ordering foods more than ever.
They can't cook. They can't cook.
You want to you live in paycheck to paycheck. You spending $2,000, $1,000 on ordering out every single time.
But bruv,
if you would have just spent time cooking,
there's no
doing
excuse.
like bulk cooking, you would save maybe $500 to $800 a month, and that's on the low end.
That's on the
low. I'm not mad if you can afford it. You want to do that. But people making these choices, I'm looking at them crazy. Like,
how much is a pack of macaroni? A pack of pasta, rice. Listen, the internet is there. If you're telling me, and that's probably why she took it down, because she's getting dragged. If you're telling me you have a combined income of $120K and you living paycheck to paycheck, it's these two things. You're stupid and lazy.
You know what? We're going to end it there. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree or disagree?